Hi, welcome to tutorial 2.7 part 1 on naming ionic compounds. We're going to go through this nice and slowly. There's going to be 4 parts to this tutorial. Each time they become slightly more complicated. The first one you'll see will be very straightforward. So first of all, let's just have a look at an ionic compound. The first question is, how do we name KCl? Well, how do we even know it's an ionic compound? Ionic compounds are formed from cations joining anions. A cation is an ion that forms from a metal atom by losing electrons. So if you look at this first column over here, the alkali metals, they typically lose a single electron to take on a positive 1 charge when they lose electrons. The alkaline earth metals next to them typically lose 2 electrons, and those are the cations that are going to be part of the ionic compound. These transition metals we'll talk about later, but let's look at these over here in green. These are the nonmetals that are accepting the electrons to become anions. So for example, fluorine over here will accept a single electron to become the fluoride ion. So notice the name changed in the case of the anion from the atoms relative to the atom. Fluorine is the name of the atom, fluoride is the name of the ion. Similarly, chlorine is named chloride as an ion. The bromine atom becomes the bromide ion, etc. So notice every one of these over here in green, that is the second name of these 2 names that form the name of the compound, always will end with IDE. All right, so let's try this one. What is the name of KCl? You say, well, K is made from the potassium atom. The cation has the same name, so it's called potassium. What's the Cl called? Well, it's made from the chlorine atom. By accepting an electron, it becomes the chloride ion. So the compound KCl is called potassium chloride. The description down here talks about the transfer of electron. You don't need to worry about that in this section, but it's nice to see it as you work through these because we're going to need that in the second part of the tutorial. So let's kind of glance at it. A single electron is lost from a potassium atom, which is exactly the number that a single chlorine needs to become a Cl-1 ion. Why does this lose 1 and this one gain 1? The basic rule for us will be that ions will be formed by gaining or losing electrons until the atom itself, the ion that forms, has the electron structure of its nearest noble gas, because we know those electron structures are very stable. Now let's try another one. What is the name of this? Na2O. First of all, just the name is straightforward. Na is called sodium as an atom and as an ion. Oxygen, the atom, we know has changed its name. It becomes the oxide ion. So this is called sodium oxide. Then a quick sense of why 2 sodium ions form for every 1 oxide. Each sodium loses 1 to become an Na plus ion. But the oxygen actually will accept 2 before it's stable. So to supply it with 2 electrons, 2 sodium atoms have to be involved for every 1 oxide ion that forms. Let's do the next one. Na3P. Now P's not here. It's element 15, but it behaves just like nitrogen does in this case. It will accept 3 electrons. What's the name? The name is straightforward. Sodium for the name of the metal ion that forms the cation. The anion is called phosphide. The element phosphorus becomes the anion phosphide. So the name is sodium phosphide. 1 or 2 more. MgCl2, and most of these other ones I'm putting in here just for you to kind of get used to the different combinations of positive and negative charges. Magnesium loses 2 electrons to become the magnesium ion. Each chlorine will accept 1 of those 2. Therefore, 2 chlorines will be involved for every 1 magnesium. The name will be magnesium, and then the chlorine atom becomes chloride. So magnesium chloride. This one here, it matches up perfectly. The magnesium loses 2 electrons to become like its nearest noble gas, and oxygen will gain 2 to become like the same noble gas in terms of its electron structure, and the compound is called magnesium oxide. The oxygen, remember, becomes the oxide ion. The last one, Mg3N2, a little unusual that there's 3 for every 2 ions involved. Why do you need that? Because the magnesium will lose 2 electrons apiece. Oxygen, yes, 2 apiece, but nitrogen will gain 3. So therefore, for this to balance out, we're going to have a transfer of 6 electrons. 3 magnesiums will lose 2 apiece. The 6 electrons will go to the 2 nitrogen atoms, which would become the 2 nitride ions. So the name of it is magnesium nitride. So most of that talk in there was just about the electron transfer, which you don't actually need for this first quiz, but you do need for the second one. So they're there to kind of just get you used to how these names work. Great, I think that's it. Remember, cation has the same name as the atom that it's made from. The anion, when it's group 1 or group 2, the anion will change its name. It ends with IDE compared to the normal atom, which might end with something like maybe like nitrogen or oxygen. Becomes nitride or oxide. All right, good enough. I think you'll be fine. Good luck on this. I'll see you in class. Thanks.